Hello everybody, welcome back to the Landedkiller show. Today I thought we would focus on the Operation Killer Whale, a scenario inside of World of Warships where you're basically attacking a base and then you're defending it from a couple of groups of ships. As you can see, I have brought out the Repulse in this operation as I was curious to see how she would perform in this operation specifically. I won't deny this is one of my favorite operations outside of Narai. I think Narai is still my number one, and the number two is this operation here, Killer Whale. Sometimes I get confused for Raptor Rescue. At least I used to anyway. Those were the days. But the reason why we're talking about operations today is that we're getting closer and closer to the old operations actually coming back inside the game. It looks like that Wargaming is actually developing the tools so that they can go back and bring back some of our old operations, you know, like Ultimate Frontier, Operation Cherry Blossom, the Dunkirk operation, and any others that I may have missed in this video here. But I think it's fantastic to see these changes occur. I'm excited to see operations come back. As for this operation, your basic tactic is you first want to start by taking out your outside forts and kind of coordinating with your team on which targets to take out after that. Basically, you want to sit there and go for the battleships on the right side. You want to have some players go after them. And then you want to have like your weaker ships kind of go off toward the, I want to say, the west. I go more towards the west side where there's less enemies, pretty much, where there's only this cruiser that you can see right in front of me here. So you want to have your weaker ships kind of go toward the west, so that way they can take out more of the targets. And there is a retreat area which opens up once you go around and you sink all the targets, because basically your targets initially are these patrolling ships inside. You got this cruiser and a couple destroyers, a couple battleships that are at dock or whatever, a Kong Albert and another ship, I believe Nassau. Nassau is docked over there. And you can kind of see in the back there those little red dots. Those are buildings which you're supposed to take out. One of the things I see people sometimes do wrong on this operation specifically is that they'll forget about the buildings on rare occasions and they'll just not destroy them, or they'll wander off and try to take out targets on their own and try to act like a solo Rambo sort of player. You don't need to act like Rambo, folks. I mean, come on, you gotta coordinate with your team. Don't try to act like Rambo. This ain't the time for that. Man, I always loved Sylvester Stallone in the Rocky movies and the Rambo. Such a good movie. Ah, man. You know, I want to see Sylvester Stallone come into World of Warships. We already had Arnold Schwarzenegger sit there and show up in World of Tanks. Why can't we get Sylvester Stallone as a captain in World of Warships already? Kind of one-up Arnold Schwarzenegger by having Sylvester Stallone be a captain in like his Rambo, where he's Rambo and he's just basically saying the classic lines from Rambo. Either that or have him as Rocky, I suppose. Either one would work for me. As you can see here, I'm trying to attack this cruiser and my shells aren't always hidden on target with Repulse here. I don't know if it's because of my setup or because of my bad aim. I'm gonna guess it's probably because I'm not used to the ship. The dispersion is my guess. I've only taken out Repulse maybe one or two times actually, because most of the time when I'm playing the game, I'm either on a live stream or I am making a video most of the time these days. And my other time is divided up between making videos for the other channels and that sort of a thing. So I'm not really getting much time in this year to grind the lines like I wanted, but I've got to keep those channels going strong as they're more of a long-term investment. I see these channels as a long-term thing. I know that we're not quite there yet at 1,000. I'm sure we'll get there by year's end. I've been checking the Social Blade. It says in 10 months' time this channel will hit the 1,000 subscribers most likely. So you'll see me mention that from time to time, and I'm gonna try tying in the other channels from time to time as well. So you can see here I'm aiming at the nacelle. I missed the shot, kind of a little disappointed, but another objective, as you can see off to the left side of the screen there, is those transport ships. You need to take those out. You need to coordinate with your team to take those out. You gotta at least have 2 ships on that most of the time because they go pretty fast. So at least a cruiser and a destroyer on them at the very least. That way you get them pretty fast. Ideally like a cruiser and destroyer really, because battleship reload is too slow to take them out and engage these battleships on the other side of the map. That's why I said at the beginning that you should have your weaker ships go to the west and your battleships go to the east. That's a good way to go through this operation. And kind of see that I'm otherwise engaged with the battleships and I'm not attacking the transports because I'm trying to take out the bigger target. I was hoping that my buddy Repulse right there would sit there and take out those transports, but for some reason he doesn't. And look at that salvo. I had it aimed right on target and it goes completely the other direction. I wonder if that's a bug or something. I just noticed that just now on voicing the silver. That's just kind of surprised me that my salvo went all the way across to the other side of where I was aiming. It's just very surprising. Maybe it's just maybe it's just a bug with this operation in particular, but if you guys are having bugs where you're aiming at repulse and your shells go flying the other way, definitely, give Wargaming a shout for that. I'm wondering if this is happening to other repulse owners in modes outside of scenarios. I seem to remember there being bugs or whatever around accuracy and some guns on some American battleships, I want to say, a couple months back. I think so anyway. Otherwise, you can see at this stage of the game that transport's still not taken out, so I'm kind of trying to aim my guns at it to take it out here. I do apologize for the upload being a little late today, but I was working on a couple other videos for the Zombies channel as I had some interest in it recently, so I was working on a couple of things for that. But it's been a pretty slow week for World of Warships news besides the super carriers. The super carriers were only the biggest thing, and something I missed in my initial reporting on the dev blog was Hornet getting a tactical squadron of B-25 bombers. So it does. It's kind of interesting that they're giving a ship at tier 8 that special ability rather than it just being its own squadron on its own. I think if they balance these things out properly, it's okay. In the Hornets case at least, but the jets and with these super ships at tier 11, it's just complete and utter nonsense. I don't really think that jets should be in the game. Honestly, I wish that they would put 2 eras of ships in the game, okay? They would split off tiers 1 to 10 in its own artillery age and then take super ships, make that a new tier 1, and have that face off in the missile age. Or modern age, if you will. So there'd be 2 eras. Artillery ships and then the modern age. Modern age would basically cover all the missile stuff and allow Wargaming to sit there and put the jets and all that nonsense into the game without affecting the artillery ships. I don't think Wargaming wants to do this because they don't think they have enough player population to do it, but if they're sitting there and testing out jets and stuff, obviously they fear something, I think. They fear the decline of growth. And I'm telling Wargaming straight up here and now, develop that modern ships. Develop them and separate them off from artillery ships. Make super ships your new tier 1 in the modern ship age, and separate the game off into 2 eras. Allow us to choose when we load up into port whether we want to do artillery ships or want to go modern age. And create modern versions of all the ports that you have in game. Seriously, go for it. What are you doing? You're sitting there and making us go through all these different experiments. Why not try and experiment with modern ships? You already have modern tanks and World of Tanks console, for crying out loud. Anyways, as I was saying, at this point in the operation, you're going to be going out and facing a few groups of ships while also retreating back to that little spot on the map where you see the anchor. The anchor that you see on the screen there, that's where you're going to go to retreat, but you're going to have to face the enemy ship groups first. So you want to kind of spread out how this team is doing here, and you want to take on the targets and team up with your teams to do that. You'll see me in a minute here go north because I'm trying to protect the carrier pretty much. And one of the teammates is going to shout, "Hey, go take out the forts," or whatever, and I'll just say yes, gonna take out the forts or whatever, or I respond with Wilco. That's what I remember anyway. But you know, it's been a really slow week for news on any new lines and whatnot. The next line that we're getting is going to be the Italian destroyers after the Pan-Asian cruisers. I'm sort of still have mixed feelings about Pan-Asian cruisers overall. I feel that I need to put more time into them to really understand them better, but from my understanding, they're more like a support ship. They're not something you're going to be sitting there and charging headlong into battle with. Now, the Italian destroyers, on the other hand, the branch you're developing, I was watching Natsir's video on the Tier 10. He has a video out on the Tier 10 Italian, the Igalo or something, and the Atlantico, and one other, and the FR-25. I was watching that and I was looking at this stuff, and it's really interesting that the Italian destroyers pretty much have the Italian smoke, and they have the emergency speed boost, but their gun range is limited at only 8 kilometers on the gun for the Tier 10. So I think that's going to be an interesting line because those will have to get up close and personal. So think Palio Emilio, right? But guns, focused on the guns, because the torpedoes on the Tier 10, the video from the 11.0 public test that Natsir had showed a speed, I believe, of 56 knots and a range of 13.5 kilometers. So that was interesting when I was watching the video. And to address other matters with the channel, I have decided that I'm not going to go forward with putting Fortnite on the main channel. I'm going to completely stick to World of Warships content for the time being, as I understand some were upset. So I will not be putting Fortnite on this channel anymore. That was mainly to experiment with that. And at the end of the day, it's going to draw more people to the channel, because they're going to see it and they're going to click on the channel. I'm already seeing the results from that. So I'm going to try to push more of that experimental content off into the side channels for the time being. We're going to get back into more World of Warships and perhaps some World of Tanks gameplays here on the side. I haven't decided if I'm going to sit there and proceed with World of Tanks reviews. I don't really think I would be qualified to do that because I've really been out of touch with World of Tanks for the longest time, and I think I'm better off to let Quickie Baby sit there and continue to do that because he's pretty good at it. As for ship reviews, I am thinking about doing a tech tree or a lower tier premium at the time. I just haven't decided which one I'm going to do yet. There's a lot of options in my head right now that I'm thinking of, and I'll make a decision here shortly on what I'm going to review next. I'm going to try to make uploads more frequent on the channel when I can. I'm going to be starting a job which is going to take up a lot of my time here, so bear with me as that transition takes place. So when there's like a devlog, like let's say that I'm away at work or whatever and a devlog comes out, I'm probably not going to be able to cover it right away. I'm probably going to have to wait until I get home that night, then record it at night and release it the next morning. So if you see it takes me a day or two to get out a video on the newest devlog, please understand it's because of the new job and I'm adjusting to all that. And know that I do care about these channels, and I am going to continue to keep them up as I see them more as a long-term investment. I may not be at monetization now, but I will be in the future. And that's the goal. I'd rather take my time and build up a loyal audience that wants to watch my content than sit there and make content and then people don't watch. You know what I mean? That's why I like people like Straswa, a loyal fan of mine that comments on almost all the videos. So I appreciate Straswa's input a lot on the videos. And I'll encourage others to do like what Straswa does and leave your comments down below on the videos. Let's try to build up a community here, because that's what I want to do with this channel, is build up a nice community. Slowly get that subscriber count up over time, as I'd rather have a loyal audience that wants to watch the videos than people that just subscribe and then don't watch the videos. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it at the end of the day, honestly. I want people to come to watch the content. I don't want people to just subscribe and then they don't watch the videos, because that doesn't help anybody. So at the end of the day, I just want to say thank you to all of my subscribers on the channels, on all 5 of them, not just this one. I want to thank you all. And I hope that you all are having a great weekend. I am going to think about what ship I'm going to review next, and I'll be sure to get out a video on that shortly. But I hope that you enjoyed this video and enjoyed this nice 5-star gameplay. I did this game about a day or two ago now. It was an awesome team to work with all of you. You guys were an awesome team. Anyway, don't forget to like, watch, and subscribe and all that jazz. And don't forget to hit the notification bell. And have a great day. Thank you.